Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
From AI-inspired insights from farmers.
If you're enjoying what we're doing here, we'd love to hear from you too.
Absolutely.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely leave a comment telling us what you want to see more of on this deep dive.
We're always looking for new ideas, and we really value your feedback.
So what farm-related mysteries are you dying to uncover?
Right.
What questions are keeping you up at night? Let us know, and maybe we'll tackle them in a future deep dive. Today, welcome to the deep dive. We are diving into the world of AI and agriculture.
Especially for new farmers who are interested in the latest tech.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a really hot topic right now.
We have some incredible sources today, from the newest advancements in AI for ag to the real nitty-gritty of how these systems are actually being used.
We'll also look at what's happening behind the scenes with the algorithms.
And then,
and of course, we'll speculate about what the future holds.
yeah, we're going to be talking about what the future holds for AI and ag.
A lot to cover.
So much. It's a big topic.
So are we ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's jump into it. So, weather forecasting has come a long way from just looking at the sky and kind of guessing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. AI and machine learning are completely changing the game. Like, you think about traditional forecasting.
Right.
It was good. It was based on science, but
Yeah.
it had limitations, especially when you started looking at longer-term predictions
Well,
and the amount of data involved.
It's a ton of data.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. So AI comes along, and it can handle that data and make these longer-term predictions more accurately.
Yeah.
So we have an example here, sub-seasonal to seasonal forecasting for agriculture in Bangladesh.
Ooh.
What is that about?
This is really cool.
Yeah.
They've designed this whole system specifically for farmers,
Okay.
giving them forecasts 4 weeks to 3 months out.
Oh, wow.
And this is huge for agricultural planning.
Huge. That long lead time could completely change a farmer's decision-making process.
Planting, harvesting, everything.
Exactly.
When to prepare for potential issues.
So how does AI do that? How does it come up with these reliable long-range forecasts?
Well, one of the key players here is something called long short-term memory networks.
Long short-term memory.
Yeah, LSTMs.
Okay.
It's a type of neural network that's really good at picking up patterns in data.
Right.
And weather data is all about patterns.
Yeah, it's sequential, right? Like one day affects the next.
Exactly. So LSTMs learn these complex dependencies over time. They become these super-powered weather detectives.
So it's almost like they're learning how weather behaves.
Yes, exactly.
And then they can use that to predict what's going to happen.
Right, like they study how weather behaved in the past, and then they can use that knowledge to say, okay, based on what we know, here's what we think is going to happen in the future.
So what are they feeding these LSTMs? I mean, what kind of data are they using?
A whole lot. Historical weather data is a big one.
Okay.
We're talking temperatures, rainfall, humidity, wind patterns, you name it.
All that from like weather stations and satellites.
Yeah. And they also use these things called reanalysis data sets.
Reanalysis?
It's like a scientist's dream. They take all the historical weather info we have
Okay.
and use it to create a really detailed and consistent picture of past weather patterns.
So it's like filling in all the gaps.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It helps to create a complete picture.
So all this past data, plus they're incorporating climate models that project future climate conditions.
That's right.
It sounds like they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at these models.
I mean, why not? The more data, the better.
Yeah, but can AI actually handle all of that?
That's the beauty of it. AI can sift through massive amounts of data and find connections.
Right.
Connections that we as humans probably wouldn't even notice.
That's pretty impressive.
Hmm.
So this project,
Oh yeah, Omdena and Rebase Energy.
what did they do?
So Rebase, they have this massive amount of weather data,
Okay.
and they partnered with Omdena, and together they focused on creating super precise weather forecasts,
Oh, wow.
specifically for agriculture.
So it sounds like we're seeing some really interesting advancements in weather prediction thanks to AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what does this mean for the farmers on the ground? How does this actually help them?
It helps a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Like in that Omdena project we just mentioned,
Yeah.
the farmers who used their system saw some impressive results. Like what?
They reported about a 15% increase in crop yields.
15%. That's huge.
It is. And on top of that, they saw a 20% reduction in losses,
Wow.
specifically because of extreme weather.
So they're able to avoid those big hits from unexpected weather events.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So what kind of specific advice is the AI giving them? How is it helping them achieve these results?
So one of the big things is timing.
Okay.
The AI can recommend the optimal times for planting and harvesting
Right.
based on the weather predictions.
So it's taking the best work out of it.
Exactly.
Like if it predicts a late frost.
Yeah, you might want to hold off on planting.
Makes sense.
Or if there's a big storm coming right before harvest.
You get those crops out of the field ASAP.
Exactly. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive.
So it's not just about avoiding disasters.
No.
It's about making the most of good weather too, right?
Absolutely. It can also help with water management.
Oh, that's so important these days, especially with droughts becoming more common. I know, right? So the AI can recommend different irrigation strategies to conserve water.
Like if a drought is predicted.
Yeah. Or if heavy rain is expected, it can suggest ways to prevent flooding.
So it's like a personalized weather and farm management consultant?
Pretty much. And there's even the potential for it to suggest different crop varieties.
Oh, interesting.
Ones that are more resilient to the predicted weather.
That's thinking ahead.
Yeah.
So it's not just about reacting to the weather in the short term, it's about long-term planning too.
Exactly. It's about making the best decisions for your farm.
So we have this really interesting example from Singapore where A-Star partnered with Artisan.
That one's fascinating.
Yeah, they used AI to create a predictive model.
To optimize vegetable production.
And they were able to produce, how much? 100 tons of vegetables.
Yeah, 100 tons per year.
And then we have Google's hyperlocal flood forecasting.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Tell me about that.
They can predict riverine floods up to 7 days in advance.
7 days. That's amazing.
It gives people time to prepare,
Evacuate, protect their property.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So AI can do all these amazing things,
Yeah.
but how does it actually work? What are the algorithms doing behind the scenes?
All right, so it all starts with machine learning.
Okay.
And the first step is data pre-processing.
Data pre-processing.
Yeah, it's like getting all your ingredients ready before you start cooking.
Okay.
You've got all this data, weather data, climate models, maybe even soil and crop yield data.
Right.
And it all needs to be cleaned up, organized, and put into a format the AI can understand.
So it's like translating it for the AI.
Exactly.
Then what?
Then comes feature engineering.
Feature engineering. What's that?
It's about figuring out which data points are the most important.
Okay.
Like imagine a detective looking for clues.
Right.
Feature engineering helps the AI focus on the clues that are most likely to predict the weather.
So it's like prioritizing the data.
Exactly. Then the AI can start training.
Training for what?
Well, there are different types of models, like those LSTMs we talked about.
Right.
But there are others too, like random forests, support vector machines, all sorts of things.
Okay.
And they're all trained using historical data.
So the AI learns from the past.
Yeah, it figures out how different weather conditions in the past led to certain outcomes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it can use that knowledge to predict what might happen in the future.
So is it just about picking the right model and feeding it a bunch of data?
It's a little more complicated than that.
Okay.
You have to make sure you're using data from different sources.
Weather stations, satellites, you said before.
All of that. And sometimes the data can be inconsistent.
So you have to clean it up and make sure it all works together.
Exactly. And it's also important to create models that are interpretable.
Interpretable, what does that mean?
It means that people can understand how the model is making its predictions,
Okay.
so they can trust it.
That's important, especially for farmers who are new to using AI.
They need to know why the AI is suggesting something before they'll actually do it.
Right, makes sense. So looking ahead, what does the future hold for AI in agriculture?
It's really exciting. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Like what? What are some of the things we might see in the future?
Well, that study from Bangladesh.
The rice study.
Yeah, their model predicts some pretty impressive rice yields in the coming decades.
That's great news.
But they also pointed out some challenges, like rising temperatures in the region.
Which could affect crop production.
Yeah, so AI can help us adapt to these challenges, but it's not a silver bullet.
So even with AI, we still need to be mindful of climate change.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because we're trying to predict the future, but the climate is always changing.
Right. It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Exactly.
But AI can still be valuable, especially for localized short-term predictions.
Like what?
Well, remember those tuna fishermen who were having trouble predicting fish locations because of changing ocean currents? AI could help them understand those short-term changes in the ocean and improve their fishing.
Okay.
And then there are nature-based solutions.
What are those?
They're ways of using nature to address climate change.
Oh, interesting.
Like using machine learning to estimate how much carbon forests can store.
Okay.
This can help us protect and manage those forests better.
So AI is being used across the board, from individual farms to entire ecosystem.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Now, before we wrap up, you mentioned a bonus insight for our listeners, especially those new to farming.
Oh, yeah. So if you're thinking about starting a farm,
Yeah.
AI can play a huge role in creating a resilient farm.
Resilient agriculture, what does that mean exactly?
It's about building a farm that can handle anything.
Okay.
Climate change, economic ups and downs, all those challenges.
So how does AI help with that?
By giving you the information you need to make the best decisions.
Like what kind of information?
Well, AI can analyze weather patterns, soil data, pest and disease outbreaks, and then it can give you specific recommendations.
So it's like having a super smart farm advisor.
Exactly. Like, let's say you're just starting out
Okay.
and you're looking at a piece of land.
Yeah.
AI could analyze the soil, the weather history, and tell you the best crops to plant.
Wow. That's really helpful.
Or once you're up and running,
Yeah.
you can use AI-powered drones to monitor your crops
For what?
for things like pests, diseases, even stress.
So you can catch problems early.
Exactly. And you can use AI to manage your irrigation.
To save water.
Yes. So AI can help make your farm more efficient, more productive, and more resilient.
That's a great point.
And the best part is,
Nice.
these AI tools are getting easier and easier to use.
That's good news.
You don't need to be a tech expert to take advantage of them.
That's fantastic.
Mm.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I think the big thing is that AI isn't just some futuristic idea anymore.
It's here now.
It's here, it's powerful, and it can really help farmers, especially new farmers.
So whether you're just starting out or looking for ways to improve your existing farm,
AI is definitely something to consider.
as we think about all of this, we encourage you, the listener, to think about how AI can help you and your farm.
And here's a final thought for you. As AI becomes more and more common in agriculture,
Yeah.
how will that change what it means to be a farmer? What skills will the next generation of farmers need?
That's a great question. Something to think about as we move forward in this exciting new world of AI and agriculture. Well, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your expertise with us.
It was my pleasure.
And to you, the listener, thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
Hitting that like button and smash that subscribe.